Greece's fight for freedom. The air smelled like olive trees and salt from the sea. Nikos was a 13-year-old boy. He hid behind a stone wall in 1821. His heart beat fast, like the drums of the Ottoman soldiers he saw in his village weeks ago. The sun was going down, making long shadows on the hills. His father, Dimitris, had been gone for days. Nikos held an old gun that was too heavy for him. It had scratches from old battles. He shouldn't have been there, but he heard people talking about fighting for freedom, and he couldn't stay at home while everything changed. Months before, in secret meetings with oil lamps, men like Dimitris planned to fight. The Ottoman Empire had ruled Greece for almost 400 years. They took money from families and sent boys like Nikos to their army, never to come back. The Filiki Iteria, a secret group started in 1814, made men promise to fight for freedom. Nikos heard his father make that promise in their house by the lagoon. His voice was strong but shaky. Now Nikos looked over the wall and saw Greek fighters moving in the dark. They carried knives and looked serious. Theodoros Kolokotronis, a brave leader, was with them. His mustache and fierce eyes made him look like a lion. Nikos felt hope. The rebellion started in March 1821. Alexandros Ypsilantis raised a flag to fight the Ottomans. Villages like Nikos's in Missolonghi joined in. But it was hard. Ottoman soldiers burned homes and hurt people. Nikos remembered screams from a nearby village that was attacked. His mother, Eleni, hid him in a cellar.
"Stay safe, my heart,"
she whispered. Nikos couldn't stay hidden. He heard Dimitris had joined Kolokotronis to attack Ottoman soldiers, so Nikos took the gun from above the fireplace and followed. The fighters moved to a narrow path in the hills. Kolokotronis, who fought Turks for years, knew the hills well. His plan was to trap the Ottomans in the path and attack from above. Nikos followed quietly, his bare feet soft on the rocks. The gun felt heavy. He thought of his father's stories about ancient Greeks like Leonidas, who fought bravely long ago.
"We are like them,"
Dimitris had said. Nikos wanted to be brave, but he was scared as he hid in the rocks. At dawn, the Ottomans came. Their red hats stood out against the gray hills. There were 50 of them, with swords and guns, led by a man on a horse. Nikos knew that man. He had come to Missolonghi, asking for money his family didn't have. The fighters waited quietly. Kolokotronis raised his hand. Nikos held his breath. Then a shout came, and the hills came alive. Rocks fell from above, hitting soldiers. Guns fired, and Greeks ran down with swords. Nikos couldn't move, holding his gun. He saw Dimitris jump from a rock, fighting a Turk. Nikos felt proud, but then a sword hit Dimitris, and blood appeared on his shirt. Nikos yelled, but the noise hid his voice. He ran down, tripping on stones to find his father. The fight ended fast. The Ottomans ran away, leaving many dead. Kolokotronis shouted orders, his voice rough but strong. Nikos found Dimitris against a tree, his face white.
"Nikos, why are you here?"
he said weakly.
"I wanted to help,"
Nikos said, crying.
"You're brave, my boy, but live. Promise me,"
Dimitris said, holding his hand tightly. Nikos nodded, too sad to talk. A fighter bandaged Dimitris's wound, but his eyes closed. The fighters took Dimitris to Missolonghi. Eleni cried and prayed. Nikos stayed with his father, scared by the fight. Dimitris lived, but the war went on. By 1822, the Greeks won battles at Tripolitsa and Navarino. They made a plan for a free Greece at Epidaurus, but the Ottomans kept fighting. Missolonghi became a strong place, with water and walls to keep enemies out. Nikos grew taller, his hands rough from carrying supplies. He learned to use a gun, though Eleni wanted him safe. Kolokotronis, now a big leader, visited often, reminding everyone to keep fighting. In 1825, things got worse. The Ottoman leader, Mahmud II, asked Ibrahim Pasha, an Egyptian general, to stop the Greeks. Ibrahim's ships came to the Peloponnese, burning villages and taking people away. Nikos saw sad people come to Missolonghi with nothing left. The town got ready for a big fight. By April 1826, Ottoman and Egyptian soldiers surrounded Missolonghi. They stopped food from coming in. Nikos, now 15, helped build walls and share small bits of bread. He was hungry but thought of Dimitris, still weak, and kept working. People sang songs to stay strong, even as enemy cannons boomed. Lord Byron, an English poet who helped the Greeks in 1823, had died in Missolonghi from sickness. Nikos saw him once, pale and kind, giving money to hungry kids. Byron's death made Europe notice Greece. Ships from Britain and France watched the war, but no help came during the attack. After a year with no food left, the Greeks planned to escape. On April 10, 1826, thousands of people, men, women, kids, ran through the enemy lines to reach the hills. Nikos held Eleni's hand as they ran. Dimitris limped beside them. Cannons lit the sky, and screams were everywhere. Many people fell, hit by swords or lost in the rush. Nikos's family hid in a ditch as soldiers passed.
Keep going, Nikos. For Greece.
Dimitris whispered. They moved through mud, hearts racing until they reached a safe camp in the hills. Missolonghi burned behind them, its loss hurting every Greek. But the war continued. In 1827, Europe helped. Britain, France, and Russia sent ships to Navarino Bay. In October, they fought Ibrahim's navy and sank most of it. Nikos, now with Kolokotronis' men, heard the news by a fire.
"The world sees us,"
Kolokotronis said, his voice heavy. That win changed the war. The Ottomans got weaker. By 1830, after fights and talks, Greece was free with small borders but a big spirit. Nikos stood on a hill in 1830, now 19. He held a plow, not a gun. Dimitris and Eleni lived, hurt but proud, in a village being rebuilt. The Greek flag, blue and white, flew over Missolonghi. Its colors showed the sea and sky they fought for. Nikos thought of the path where he first saw fighting, the people who died, and the women who helped the hurt. He thought of Kolokotronis, old but strong, and Byron, whose poems Nikos now read. The war took his childhood, but gave him a country. Nikos felt his promise to Dimitris, to live. He walked home, the olive trees quiet, knowing Greece's fight would live in him, his children, and the songs of a free people. Rebellion. An organized fight against authority. The rebellion against the rulers inspired the whole town. Lagoon. A shallow body of water near a sea or lake. The lagoon reflected the moonlight near their village. Fierce, showing intense or aggressive energy. The fierce storm kept everyone indoors for hours. Cannons, large, heavy guns used in warfare. The cannons fired loudly, shaking the ground. Limped, walked unevenly due to injury or pain. He limped home after twisting his ankle. Supplies, necessary items provided for a purpose. The team carried supplies to the camp, surrounded, completely encircled or enclosed. The fort was surrounded by enemy troops. Resistance, the act of opposing or fighting back. Their resistance against the invaders grew stronger daily.